Jayson, how are you looking forward to the Mavericks as a matchup here in the finals? And what are you taking from your first experience in the finals 2 years ago in this series?
Yeah, it's a lot that myself and we can learn from that experience being in the finals. And this time, this go around is a lot different. Obviously, we've been there before. We came up short, and great opportunity to make it to the finals again. You don't always get a second chance. So really just looking at it as a second chance and trying to simplify things as much as we can. It's another series that we got to win.
Obviously, one of the storylines of the series will be Kyrie going against his former team. When you look back at your experience with him here, what was it like playing with him early in your career here? And what do you kind of make of what the atmosphere and the crowd might be like? Obviously, they've gotten on him here in the past when he's returned.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, it was some ups and downs, but I think for me, being a first, second-year player, being around a superstar essentially every day, and seeing how to navigate that space. And then, obviously on the court, he's one of the most talented guys I've ever seen. So, seems like a very long time ago, but I got a lot of great memories, from having Kai as a teammate.
Jayson, you guys have talked about this a little bit. This is a huge break in between series for you guys. At the All-Star break, Joe said he hates breaks. He even said he wished there wasn't a halftime. How do you guys mentally stay locked in during these long breaks? And what are you guys doing in practice? And how is Joe sort of keeping you locked in and avoiding that potential letdown or just breaking?
Just understand the moment that we're in. Obviously, having a couple days or 9 days off is kind of good for your body, right, and things like that, and everybody to get healthy. But we're in the NBA Finals, and we're also anxious and excited to play. That I wish it did start a little bit earlier, so we could get after it. But a lot of guys who have been here before, we understand the magnitude of this moment and staying sharp and staying fresh and staying ready.
You guys are generating the most points in crunch time of any team that got past the first round. You have the highest net rating in the clutch. What have you seen in terms of this team's growth under pressure, and how has that prepared you for facing Kyrie and Luka in those moments?
I think our ability to talk through things and practice and shoot around and walk through things while we're here and see things in film and being able to translate that into the game and knowing what we're trying to get to in late game situations, what actions are we looking for, and essentially everybody being on the same page.
Jayson, obviously you're a guy who tries to get to the line a lot and is also guarding elite players. Like I'm sure he'll be guarding Kyrie and Luka both in this series. With the way the game has shifted in officiating over the past few months, where it's a lot more physical, there's less fouls called, has that caused you to mentally change any of your approach in terms of whether it's expecting less calls or being able to play more physically defensively or anything with the way things have shifted so much?
Yeah. I mean, the playoffs is a totally different animal. I feel like especially as the series goes on, I think the refs kind of want us to make the plays, right, and only necessarily calling fouls that they have to. And it goes both ways. They definitely let you play a lot more. They're not calling a lot of the holds and grabs unless it's necessary. So, and it's been like that, every year in the playoffs. So just understanding how it's going to be, especially the further along you go deep into the playoffs.
Jayson, when KP comes back, this will be his first time playing beyond the first round. He's talked about how when he first got here, he really came to you and Jalen and was like, I'm ready to sacrifice. I want to fit into what you guys are doing. So I guess looking back at the entire season, how do you feel like KP kind of honed and sacrificed his game to fit into what you're doing, and how has that really empowered everybody?
Yeah. KP essentially did exactly what we needed him to do the entire season, right? Whether it was punish switches or space, the five-man, and being a corner. Sometimes that might be, going possessions without touching the ball. Or it may be when they're switching, we give him the ball 5 times in a row. And, Joe talks about everybody just open-mindedness, right, to whatever we're trying to do. We switch things up a lot, and, we have so many talented, gifted players on the offensive and defensive end that everybody just have to be open to trying different things. And I give KP a lot of credit that, especially somebody as talented as he is and obviously as tall as he is, a lot of big guys may be stuck in their ways, right, doing what makes them comfortable. And, he got outside his comfort zone a little bit, and it made us a better team.
You were asked about the 2018-19 season earlier this year and said that shit was terrible. That was Kyrie's last season here. Was there anything from that journey and how poorly things went that kind of changed you? And what did you take from that about kind of approaching things differently with later teams?
Yeah, I think, just learning that being on such a talented team that it's not just talent that's going to take you over the top, right? You have to have guys that are willing to sacrifice, guys that are willing to do the other things in order for the team to have a chance. And it wasn't it wasn't a Kyrie thing, it was all of us. Like, we all took part in why that season wasn't a success. And we all learned from it. We all moved on. Some of us stayed here, other guys left, and have done great things, since that season. So I just look at that as a learning experience, for my second year.
Jayson, are you still in any kind of regular touch with Kyrie? And does it feel like this year that he's kind of turmoil surrounded him? It felt like a lot of times in Brooklyn for whatever reasons. Does it feel like this year he's more at peace and playing more within himself without that other stuff around him?
Yeah, it does seem like, Dallas obviously has been a great fit there in the NBA Finals, and the staff and the team, right, they all just kind of gel together, and it's great, right? It's great to see Kai out there playing at an extremely high level and doing all the special things that we love to see him do, and have fun doing it. Yeah, I talk to Kyrie every once in a while throughout the season, obviously, especially when we play Dallas and when I saw him at All-Star and things like that.
Last question to Mark.
Jayson, you touched earlier on this long break going up to Game 1, but how else does this feel different for you guys, especially with the fact that you get to open this series here after a break? I'm just curious how that kind of impacts and how it feels going into Game 1.
Yeah, this is unique for a lot of us. It's kind of the quickest we've ever gotten through a first, second, and obviously a third round. A lot of the previous years we had a couple Game 7 series that, just kind of extend the playoffs. So I think it was great for us to close out series when we were supposed to, and it's afforded us to have this nice break. And, obviously the work we put in through the regular season, that we get to start the finals at home.